1980. The Vision. It is often said that some pictures are too beautiful and surreal that it spreads colors beyond its thin borders. This is a divine reflection of the glorious life of a true missionary, a disciple of the founder of the CST Congregation that embraced the spirituality of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, Father Felix Nellikkunnathu. This is a journey through the life of a sacrificial priest who, like Saint Francis of Assisi, loved music and nature. Father Felix Nellikkunnathu CST. For 70 long years since 1980, Father Felix was the heart and soul of Punjab-Rajasthan mission of the CST Congregation. Adorned in a cotton kurta, rubber sandals, and a cloth bag on his shoulder, missionary priest Father Felix left his little town in Kerala and travelled far and wide to mission fields. Born in a small town in Vaikam, south of Ernakulam, on August 13, 1935, as the youngest among the 7 children of Ausep and Rosa, little Felix grew up surrounded by lakes. Embracing the rural villages of Punjab and Rajasthan with the love of our Lord, he became a priest and a social worker with the simplicity of asceticism. His life was an answer to the Lord's question, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" He was a true follower of the Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who proclaimed, "My call is love." Father Felix boldly carried out his evangelical missions with the founder Father Felix running it for 63 years till his death on 13th November 1998. Father Felix Nellikkunnathu CST. CST Congregation's very own Father Felix.
As we commemorate the 25th death anniversary of Very Reverend Father Felix Nellikkunnathu CST, it is opportune to have a documentary on him. Punjab-Rajasthan mission was the heart and soul of Reverend Father Felix. He is still remembered and alive in the hearts of the people of Punjab. Father Felix spoke the language of the heart, a language of love and life. He touched the hearts of the people of Punjab, especially the poor and the downtrodden. Reverend Father Felix was instrumental in molding the CST mission in Punjab, Rajasthan. As a true and vibrant missionary who was inspired by the spirituality of Saint Teresa of Lisieux and who lived the patrimony of the Little Flower Congregation, is an inspiration and model for every CST priest.
Born Eno Joseph, Father Felix completed his primary education in his hometown. From a young age, he was a great devotee of Saint Teresa of Lisieux. It was during this period that Honorable Father Felix Nellikkunnathu founded the CST Congregation in the name of Saint Teresa of Lisieux. Its headquarters was located at Mukanur near Angamali. The early days of the congregation was full of hardships and difficulties, and they struggled financially. But Honorable Father Basilius Barnard, ever the devotee of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, overcame them all by seeking divine guidance from the saint. It was during these troubled times that little Joseph arrived at Balanagar in Mukanur for his upper primary education with a desire to become a priest. After completing middle school, he stayed home at Vaikom to complete his SSLC as there were no high schools in Mukanur. Soon after, he officially joined the Little Flower congregation. Father Basilius Barnard sent young Joseph to Pala Mission Home run by Monsignor Father Vellaringada for seminary training. It was there that Joseph realized the depth of his calling and self-consecrated. After training, Joseph took his first vows in 1958 and took on the name Felix. During his novitiate, Father Felix suffered a bone disease which required a major knee surgery. Still, he endured all the pain and looked upon Saint Teresa of Lisieux in heaven for sanctity of life. In 1958, he studied philosophy in Karmalgiri and later completed his theology studies from Mangalapura Seminary. It was on the 1st of December, 1964, before the Holy Altar at the Divine Mercy Congress in Mumbai, that Father Felix Nellikkunnathu, along with fellow CST priests, Father Bruno and Father John Joseph, received his priestly ordination from Bishop Joseph Parekattil. This was the first sacrificial offering he received, carrying with him the spirit of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who wanted to preach and spread the gospel all over the world. His first assignment was as a trainer of students at the Aluva House of the CST Church. The then Archbishop of Bhopal, Eugene D'Souza, who visited the Aluva House on the invitation of the senior father, invited the CST congregation to Madhya Pradesh and the Bhopal mission. This was a project which required huge sacrifices and hardships, as there were many hurdles to overcome as the climate, language, and cultures were all different. Father Bruno accompanied Father Felix. With his real missionary zeal, Father Felix took this great task to heart without any fear or dismay.
It was a time in Bhopal for a missionary highly challenging and demanding, but Father Felix had no fear, no anxiety being a missionary, because he believed it is Jesus who has sent him and Jesus was always with him. After completing his course at Seva Southern Institute, he was sent to Harda Mission Station, a remote village of the Diocese of Bhopal, and there he was helping the Maltese Capuchin Fathers. He and the Holy Family Sisters visited many villages, and they preferred the villages beyond the Narma river. Every day, sisters and Father Felix used to go in a small boat to the other side of the Narmada, where the place was totally a tribal area, poor, and no road, and no development, no government officials visited that place, and the poor and the farmers were highly exploited. Knowing it, he started his work to help the farmers first, to teach them how to cultivate, and gave them good seeds, and he had many projects to help the farmers as well as other poor people, and the sisters also helped him to improve the standard of the ladies over there. There were many projects given from America, CRS, and so on, and football project was established, and thousands of people were helped by through his social work.
Several accidents followed Father Felix's mission, but none of this affected the father's dedication towards this mission. As the wounds healed and regained vigor, Father Felix resumed his journey with the strength only an indefatigable missionary would possess.
My association was actually in 1986. We went to Punjab together with 12 seminarians, and that journey itself was very hard and very difficult. And he was very tolerant to take the hardships of a journey, and even that journey he was simple enough even to his meals and everything. That was a very high impression for us, his lifestyle. And after reaching there also, he organized our seminary facilities in Farikot, that's a city in Punjab. And after that, he was the mission superior at that time. He was pioneer missionaries in Punjab. Later, the year I forgot, but he was regional mission superior. As the CST Congregation, the mission was developed into two regions. One was in Punjab-Rajasthan region, another was in Gorakhpur, Nepal region. So he was the regional superior, and he was working with the poor people, and his lifestyle and his missionary style was very impressive.
Realizing the role of education in a nation's progress, Father Felix started his missionary work by opening a school in Muskar in March of 1980. Later, as the chaplain of the Little Flower Religious and Charitable Society and the vicar of the parish in the area, many charitable works, social activities, and services were undertaken to change the face of the many underdeveloped villages in the area. In 1982, a large school was built in Faridkot. In 1985, he was appointed the vicar at the Canal Colony in the disputed border village of Firozpur, which led him to build rural centers in Danewala, Sikhuwala, Bhaskar, and Bariwala. Father Felix was very interested in the training of seminary students in this area, that he initiated the seminary at Malod to increase the mission spirit among the students. In 1986, he established a convent and community center at Danewala and a church, school, and a monastery in Fasalka, a large Catholic community. The Punjab-Rajasthan Mission Superior was formed in the area in 1988 by Father Felix.
This is indeed a special grace speaking by the side of the tomb of Father Felix. This is a fitting forum to reflect over the person as well as the social service mission of our beloved Father Felix. I remember the Last Supper in which Saint John was leaning against the heart of Jesus. It reminds me that Christ Jyoti province has been leaning against the person of Father Felix for its social service apostolate for several decades. As a stalwart, or perhaps as the patriarch of the social service apostolate of the Little Flower Congregation, especially of the Christ Jyoti province, the mission owes a special debt of gratitude to Father Felix. As the patriarch of the social service apostolate of the mission, he has shaped the mission as well as the destiny of the social work activities of the province especially. It was under his helm and leadership that the social service works of the province has been making tremendous growth. I must say, the personal social work charism as well as the effectiveness of his social work mission can be attributed to two salient features of his own life. Firstly, it should be noted that Father Felix was a boy who was trained in the orphanage of the congregation at Mokanur. I remember his sharing with us in the minor seminary in 1989 that there is a music that he ever cherishes in his heart. This was the tuck tuck noise produced by the wheels of the bullock cart in which they were traveling from the orphanage to the school in Angamali. He has compared this music to the ringing of the church bell. This is a very profound metaphor which is very suggestive as well as articulative of the person and mission of Father Felix. We could say the existential lessons that he drew from his own life that shaped the compelling force of his social work commitments, we could say. He did not consider his past as a liability. Rather, he transformed all the difficulties and trials and struggles of his life, or the challenging stumbling stones of his life, as the real stepping stone for others to climb over. The first step and the most inspirational source of his person and social mission is his own life experiences, I would say. Secondly, there is a unique and salient feature to the social work of Father Felix, something that is distinguishing him from the regular social workers. That is his own personal, unique God experience.
The bright and evangelical journey of the missionary begins after obtaining his master's degree in social work from America, when he started many projects like the Cycle Rickshaw Project, Hand Pump Project, Housing Project, Punjabi Medium School Project, and Printing and Carpentry Schools as part of self-help training. Mission houses were also built at Sikar, Suratgarh, and Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, and the Sangamitra complex in Mayur Vihar, Delhi. He also founded the Bacillus Social and Pastoral Organization, BSPO, a registered society in Muktsar, to implement the social visions of the founder of the church, Father Bacillus. Realizing the major role various religious congregations of the church can play in a mission, Father Felix took initiative to bring nuns from various churches in Kerala to this region and ensured their participation in various fields of social work. He also led them with the care and love of a father through all the hardships they faced in the mission initially. Father Felix led the mission services in 1991 as Assistant Superior and as Assistant Provincial in 1994. The construction of Firozpur City Church was started simultaneously. Later, he also established St. Anthony's Boys' Home to help the poor and the marginalized. In May of 1997, Father Felix was entrusted as the General of the Little Flower Congregation by the CST Church. The modest and simple priest visited the regions of his mission in Punjab and Rajasthan again, traveling all the way from Kerala. However, he fell gravely ill during this time.
I recall the memories of our late Superior General, Very Reverend Father Felix CST, who has passed to heaven, who has given his life to gain the greatest gift, that is none other than heaven. Everyone pays a price for a gift, and for Father Felix, as a great missionary, as a visionary, he has paid his life on his or during his journey as a missionary in the North Indian Punjab-Rajasthan mission. Although he had many health concerns, he did not mind many of his health concerns, despite he was committed totally for the Lord. as an icon of model. After the image of Christ, he was a missionary as a good shepherd. Many of his companions and friends and priests advised him to take care of his health, but depending on the providence of God, he always traveled to the mission, always worked and motivated the young, especially the seminarians. And I personally cherish the memory of riding him in the back of my bicycle in the Malot city, which even reverberates in my mind as the Superior General of the congregation now. What he was as a missionary remains very vibrant in the heart of the members of the Little Flower congregation today. He has paved a way and he was always directed, and which was the real motivation he received from the founder, Father Felix Nellikkunnathu CST, and he was a very close associate and a dear student of our founder Vellichan. As a missionary and a visionary, he always worked for the poorest of the poor, the marginalized, the downtrodden, and the lepers. And those days in Punjab and Rajasthan, as a pioneer missionary, he had to dedicate himself without taking into account his own comforts and his own convenience. He neglected many of them very consciously, not because it was unaffordable, rather he was very sure of his call. He had a call and a fire within, and that fire was always inspiring the members of the congregation. He was taken to the hospital with a cardiac problem, and he was assisted by many of our priests from the Punjab-Rajasthan mission. However, he had to breathe his last and go to his father whom he loved on 13 November 1998, which is a moment, although it is painful, but he remains a permanent intercessor for our mission. And he was the missionary who always asked us and who daringly took the step to start the African mission, which is a new age of the CST congregation, Little Flower congregation, as a missionary congregation. The ways he has paved for us remains as a way which he made through. He has not walked through a way which was already there, but he was a way-making movement. That is why he is a pioneer missionary. The mortal remains of Father Felix was carried from Noida, Delhi to Kerala to our major seminary, Little Flower Major Seminary, Alua, and where his mortal remains today. And many religious, many priests, many of his benefactors, and all the more the apostolic administrator, Cardinal Worki Vidayathil, as well as the Bishop Symphorian Keeperath, the Bishop of the Jalandhar Diocese of Punjab, and the Bishop Dominic Kokhat, Bishop of Gorakhpur Diocese, and many other major superiors, religious, priests, people, and the faithful, and everyone who has come to know him joined to pay the last homage to him. And this remains a memorable day for us, where he left us for his eternal reward. Although his departure is painful, but it is to a promised place, to where we all are looking forward to. And therefore we are sure that he is with the Lord, and he has the one who has journeyed ahead of us. Surely, as a great missionary, after the model of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, he remains with the heavenly King, Jesus Christ.
On 13th November 1998, the 63-year-old missionary who touched the lives of many through his simplicity and modesty went to his heavenly abode. He was an extraordinary priest who braved through all the challenges he faced, accepted all the missions of the church, was never discouraged by his diseases and innumerable accidents, always stood by the poor and the oppressed, and loved nature and music. He was a little man who arrived in Punjab and Rajasthan and left a big impact in all our lives and guided our way. A true gem in the CST Congregation. On his death anniversary, an inter-school basketball tournament and a prayer session are organized without fail is in his honor. Father Felix Nellikkunnathu, you are forever in our hearts. Here we are at his tomb in Aluva, offering these flowers of gratitude for paving our way, for lighting those paths for us to walk, for praying for us today in heaven. This memoir of light reminds us to work tirelessly in the kingdom of our Lord.